Yeah.
Okay, are we ready?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll call this meeting to order. I'll take the roll at 7:30 when we actually, if we were to meet, like we normally meet downstairs. But let's do the resolutions first. So Kim, how do you want to assign the resolutions from the Finance Committee?
Okay, 1 through 6 is Marie.
Got it.
7 through 13 is myself.
So let's see, 6, 7 through 13.
And then we have 2 under new business, but I'll talk about them when we get there.
Under Public Safety, Brent.
Is Jeff here?
Yes.
Okay, Jeff, could you do 14? I will do 15, and Tamu, can you do 16?
Sure.
Okay. And then under new business, 17 would be, that would be finance, I believe.
Right.
17, Kim. Which one were finance, 17, 18?
17 and 18.
Yeah. How do you want to do those?
Kim's muted.
You're
Sorry.
muted.
Sorry, 17 is me, 18 is Marie. I
Okay.
got 2 computers going here. 19 and 20 are public safety.
All right, Brent, so how do you want to do the local laws and ordinance?
I will do 19, and Tamu, do you want to do 20?
Sure.
Brent 19, Tamu 20. Okay. Total. All right. Unless there's any discussion on any of the resolutions open, I know, Kim, did you have something you wanted for executive session for?
Yep, specific personnel. Try that again.
I'd like to vote to go into, have a motion to go into executive session for personnel.
And that would be, I don't know how we're gonna do this because I don't need everybody here.
I can send some folks back to the waiting room and then stop the stream.
Okay, I just have you and Ryan here for now,
So just the mayor. the
and
con-
Elliot, I
and
guess.
Elliot And the council.
Yep.
Okay. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Councilman Garuba, seconded by Councilwoman James. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'll wait till you stop us.
Give me a minute.
Okay.
Oh. Hey, Grant.
Hey, Jeff, I'm sorry, I just saw your email. I just opened up the responses for you.
Yeah, I have not been able to get into any of that stuff. I didn't know if it was something I'm doing wrong or what. I've been trying to get into
Okay.
it. I can't access anything. So I'm kind of in the dark, honestly.
Okay, so,
Just to read the total amount, just like we do on any other resolutions. And then what we will do is in the actual printed budget, you will break it out however you need to for the actual budget.
Mr. Mayor, please, don't forget to bring the department heads back in.
I am. We're now back live streaming. I'm going to bring everyone back just to let the public know we are out of executive session, bringing everyone back.
Before we get started, Kim, was there anything else you wanted to go over before we actually?
Just, Tony, they're kind of all over the board and just the rest of you on the amendments. Marie and I, like I said, are splitting them. We know what we're doing, I hope.
Right.
So, we will be bouncing back and forth. And And just so you all understand, all these amendments have to be read individually and voted individually. We can't lump sum them. So the only things that will be lump sum is if it pertains to one particular position. And for instance, the grant writer is just gonna be one lump sum.
Hey, Kim, do you have that in something you can email me real quick or somebody, or are you just going off that sheet we went off?
We're going off of that with the
Okay.
exception of Ryan has added the parking fees. And I think, Ryan, if you could work on the, I think everything is good based on what you sent me today. Towards the end of the day, so we should be good to use that number. The reason we didn't send it, Grant, was because we weren't sure where we were going on the other resolutions yet. So until I'm done with that, it's kind of inaccurate, and then we'll know what we pull out of the fund balance.
So basically, just for everybody's knowledge, it's resolution 14, and it'll be read. The resolution will be read first, and then after it's read, Kim and Marie will take turns, I guess, adding amendments to them, and then I will ask the clerk to poll the council on the specific amendment. We vote on the amendments, one after the other, after the other, after the other. When all amendments are read, then we'll vote on the entire budget, correct?
Yeah, Grant, you can follow what was there last week. It's just gonna be a little bit different
Okay.
with the numbers.
I
Yep.
just didn't know if you had anything specific, but that's what I'm pulling up right now. Thank you.
No,
Yeah, just for the record, there was what, 18 you said?
18.
18 total?
But the reason before we start the actual voting session, the one position that we had a tie on, or the one amendment that we had a tie on, pretty much, and I just want to clarify, was the parking meter attendant from 3/4 to full-time. So there's arguments for both ways. I just need to know what direction everybody still wants to go. As it was proposed last week, it was to keep at 3/4, like all the other positions, no change. But you saw the email from the mayor and from Elliot about the revenue side of it. So I need to know what direction you want to go.
If we vote no, does it become what was previously proposed, correct?
Yes.
It does, but if we're not doing it, we should just pull the amendment. I mean, why put up something that's going to fail if that's
I
the
just want
direction
to
of
make
the
sure
council?
voting wise, we could basically, if we want to, though, we can vote on it. And it would come down to making it go one way or the other.
It's up to you all. Do you want it left on as is and just vote, or do you want to pull or change to full-time?
Just for clarification, we can do this again when it comes around, but the
Mhm.
amendment itself would be to leave it at 3/4.
Yep.
Okay,
What's in the mayor's budget is full-time.
it's full time. Okay, and the difference in the amount of money is just
$11,000.
11.
11,190.64.
I think we should, if it's my choice, I think we should make that position full time, but whatever everybody else wants to do.
Yeah. Well, Grant, I think, yeah, I agree with you. I think we should make it full-time too. Looking at the revenue that we could bring in from it. So I think Kim, I mentioned that to you before, so. That's where I stand on that. But I don't,
Mhm. Mhm.
I-
Yeah,
Them as well. I think it should go to a full-time position based on revenue.
I need 2 more.
I had originally thought 3/4, but I can go with full-time.
I also can go full-time.
Okay, Ryan, so we're gonna pull amendment number 8, so that means we have 17.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, are we good? Are we ready to go? Any other questions on any of the resolutions or amendments to the budget? If not, I'd like to call this meeting of the November 30th Jamestown City Council voting session to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Sheldon,
Here.
James,
Here.
Karuba,
Here.
Olson,
Here.
Nelson,
here,
Eklund,
Here,
Graham Reinhardt,
Here,
Russell,
Here,
and President Doles.
Here. At this time, I need an approval for the minutes of the October 26th voting session. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
So moved by Councilwoman James, okay? And we will move on to, and also, I guess that's one of November 16th public hearing as well. Do we need a special vote for that or a sponsor for that?
We would just need a sponsor for both meetings. Yep.
All right, so that we're good there.
Okay.
So do you want a special sponsor? Do I have a sponsor for the public hearing on the 16th?
So moved by Councilwoman Karuba.
All right, very good, thank you. At this point, we'll go on to messages from the mayor. I understand there's 3 appointments, so if the clerk would like to read those appointments.
I also have a letter that was mailed to council members last week, and I'll read that into the record as well. Dear council members, in November 2020, we have welcomed 1 new employee to the city of Jamestown, Garrett Hodgkin, Department of Public Works. I am asking that this new hire be acknowledged and welcomed to the city at the November 30th, 2020 City Council meeting. Although this is not a normal year, I want to thank all of you for your hard work and dedication to the city this year. As we move into December and the new year, may you have a wonderful holiday season. Very truly yours, Edward A. Sundquist.
Thank you.
And then I have the 3 appointments. Council members, in pursuance of the authority vested in me by the charter of said city, I do hereby nominate Allison Tilburg, 27 Lori Lane, Jamestown, New York, 14701, to be appointed a member of the Riverfront Management Council in and for the city of Jamestown, New York, to fill the unexpired term of Olivia Ruiz resigned. The term for which said appointment is to be made will expire December 31st, 2020, and that's stated November 30th, 2020, signed Edward A. Sundquist, Mayor.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules and vote on the appointment?
So moved.
So moved by Councilwoman Reinhardt. Will the clerk please poll the council on the suspension of the rules?
Okay. Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
James?
Aye.
Karuba?
Aye.
Olson?
Aye.
Nelson?
Aye.
Eklund?
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Doles?
Aye. And do I have a sponsor for the appointment?
So move.
By, who was it?
Me, Eklund.
Okay. Not on the screen. So the appointment is sponsored by Councilwoman Eklund. Will the clerk please poll the council?
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
James?
Aye.
Karuba?
Aye.
Olson?
Aye.
Nelson?
Aye.
Eklund?
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And Doles?
Aye. Thank you.
I'll read the second appointment to the City Council of the City of Jamestown, New York. Council members, in pursuance of the authority vested in me by the charter of said city, I do hereby nominate Charles Moss, 4571 Cowing Road, Lakewood, New York, 14750, to be appointed as plumbing inspector in and for the City of Jamestown, New York, to fill the unexpired term of Carl Spitali, retired. The term for which said appointment is to be made will expire upon resignation or retirement. Edward A. Sundquist, Mayor.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules and vote on this appointment tonight?
So moved, Councilwoman Karuba.
Moved by Councilwoman Karuba. Will the clerk please poll the council on the suspension of the motion to suspend the rules?
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
James?
Aye.
Karuba?
Aye.
Olson?
Aye.
Nelson?
Aye.
Eklund?
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
President Doles?
Aye. Do I have a motion to sponsor the appointment?
So moved.
So moved by Councilman Sheldon. Would the clerk please poll the council on the appointment?
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
James?
Aye.
Karuba?
Aye.
Olson?
Aye.
Nelson?
Aye.
Eklund?
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Doles?
Aye. Thank you.
And their third appointment. Council members, in pursuance of the authority vested in me by the charter of said city, I do hereby nominate Timothy Jackson, 16 May Street, Jamestown, New York, 14701, to be appointed Chief of Police, Director of Public Safety in and for the city of Jamestown, New York, to fill the unexpired term of Harry L. Snellings, retired. The term for which said appointment is to be made will expire December 31st, 2021. Dated November 30th, 2020, Edward A. Sundquist, Mayor.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to yield my time to the mayor. I know he had some comments he wanted to make, so Mayor.
Thank you, President Dole. I know that we had several appointments today, but I know this one is particularly special. And I wanted to briefly just mention to the council members and to the public how difficult it was to complete almost a 5-month process to select a new chief of police in the city of Jamestown. It's a very important position that really focuses on the community and has such an impact on so many lives here in the city. So we wanted to make sure that when we did it right, that we reviewed as many people as possible, and that we found someone that was going to understand and know our community, work with us, adapt, change, and continue to grow as the city also continues to grow. I'm proud to appoint Tim Jackson, who formerly served as a lieutenant in our police force, and then took on the hefty role of acting chief of police during this time for search. We couldn't have picked a better candidate, someone that has not only been acting for 5 months and really doing an incredible job trying to bring together a police reform initiative, as well as someone that has a really incredible past, an incredible history. Proudly serving our nation in the military, a member of our police force, even as he once jokes that he was once laid off and brought back, and he continued to stay with the city. I don't think he thought this moment would have come, but he did. He's also teaches our young officers in the academy, and someone that I've got to know to be a real advocate for the community, someone who's willing to drop anything to meet with community groups and to really talk about the issues at hand and work towards a solution. I'm excited to nominate him today through his appointment, and I urge the council members to continue to get to know Chief Jackson. I urge the public, if he's appointed tonight, to get to know him as well, hopefully as our new chief of police in the city of Jamestown. Thank you, President Dole, for allowing that time. And I wanted to just put a few comments around this very important and really pivotal position that we have here in the city.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Tim.
Thank you.
Welcome, Tim.
Congratulations.
I'll vote on him first, so.
Yes. we should-
Do I have
Oh,
a-
sorry.
do I have a motion to suspend the rules and vote?
I will gladly move to
So
suspend
moved.
the rules.
Ruba first. So would the clerk please poll the council on the suspension of the rules?
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Dole.
Aye. Now do I have a motion to someone?
I'll
I
move.
would be honored.
Okay. Councilman Eklund, clerk, please poll the council on the appointment.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Very enthusiastic aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
An emphatic aye.
and President Dole.
Aye. Now we congratulate Chief Jackson.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Welcome.
Congratulations, chief.
Thank you.
Might I echo the sentiments of the mayor as being part of the team that it's been quite a 5-month ride. You know, you've had it's been quite a transition. A lot of things going on in the middle of a pandemic and other things in the city going on. So he's done a yeoman's job of keeping things together, keeping it afloat, and going through the process of interviewing and you know, waiting for the appointment. And he's done a fantastic job, and I know he'll do a great job as the permanent chief. So again, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
That's it for appointments this evening. Is there any other petitions or communications from the public tonight?
President Dole, I just need to administer the oath of
Oh,
office
yes. I
to Chief.
right here, and I walked the time. At
Thank
this
you.
time, I would ask you to read the oath to the chief. Sorry.
All right, perfect. All right, Chief, if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
as Chief of Police, Director of Public Safety
as Chief of Police, Director of Public Safety
for the City of Jamestown,
for the City of Jamestown,
Chautauqua County, New York,
Chautauqua County, New York,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, congratulations.
Now can we graduate?
It's for the members of the public, you have to understand that it's even after all these years and we're always in different places now with Zoom and everything. And it gets confusing because when we're in the council chambers, you get kind of click in, you get locked in and you know what to expect and what comes next. But when you're sitting in your living rooms and you see screens and Hollywood squares and everything, it gets kind of confusing. Even after all these years. So with that, now we will move on to a presentation of petitions and or any communications from the public.
I didn't receive any communication.
Okay, thank you. So then we'll move on to the report from our standing committees. So our first committee will be the Finance Committee, and the first 6 resolutions will be read by Councilwoman Karuba.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing payment of the regular audit.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? If not, the clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Dole.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Drescher and Malecki LLP, 3083 William Street, Suite 5, Buffalo, New York, 14772-1933, to provide professional audit services to the city of Jamestown in an amount not to exceed $85,718.00 for the years of 2020 to 2022, subject to the approval of the Corporation Council as to form.
Thank you.
And
Any
no,
questions?
the cost excludes the proposed fee for juror at $27,255.00 and JLDC at $16,650.00.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments?
I do. I just want to add, with the change in administration, our former auditor, Mr. John Trissello, decided to cut back his time. I don't want to use the word retire yet because I don't think he is, but wanted to cut back his service to the city of Jamestown and chose not to proceed with staying as our auditor. So this went out to RFP, and this is a great proposal and great recommendation from Ryan and the mayor. But I also want to take this time to thank Mr. Trissello for all his hard work in the audits for many, many years. I know to many people it's nothing but numbers, but to me, he always did a very thorough, very amazing job and was very detailed and driven in that process. So I appreciate his hard work and wish him the best in his future.
And I would concur as well with Councilwoman Eklund. Well
Yes.
stated.
Any other questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Dole.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the payment of $21,436.11 interest on public improvement bonds issue date of October 15th, 2020.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Ryan, any idea off the top of your head what those are for?
Oh, it was in the original resolution that we provide. I think it's probably in the backup there.
It is.
One of them was,
I'll check. It's no big deal. I just like for it to be read out loud so people know what it's for.
yeah,
I'll check myself though. Thank you.
We covered that, I think, in the work session.
Good.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
All right, any other questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the purchase of one new 2021 Chevrolet Silverado half-ton extend cab truck in an amount not to exceed $32,360 and no cents from Ed Schultz Chevrolet, 300 Fluvanna Avenue, Jamestown, New York, 14701.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the city controller to make the following amendment to the 2020 general fund budget for the purpose of replacing Parks Truck number 204 as follows. Increase appropriations capital outlay A 9551.0500, $32,360. Decrease appropriations contingency A 1990.0400, $32,360.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute change order number 1 to the 2020 ADA sidewalk ramps contract in an amount not to exceed $22,253.15 with R. Patty Concrete Excavating LLC, PO Box 3081, Jamestown, New York, 14702, subject to the approval of Corporation Council as to form.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
I would just like to add, I appreciate all the work that has been done to the ADA sidewalk ramps. It's really benefited many people in the community. So thank you for the continued efforts to make all of the sidewalk ramps accessible.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye. Thank you. The next 7 resolutions out of finance will be read by the Finance Committee Chair, Councilwoman Eklund.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Family Service of the Chautauqua Region Incorporated to provide an employee assistance program at a cost of $15.75 per employee annually from the period of November 1st, 2020 through October 31st, 2023.
Thank you.
This contract includes the Board of Public Utilities and Jura employees who are billed back for their services.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution amending the agreement between the mayor and DFT Communications, 40 Temple Street, Fredonia, New York, 14063, to include the cost of the fiber in an amount not to exceed $402 and no cents per month.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please.
This was
poll.
just a change from the last one, right?
Correct.
Yes. Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Dole.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a municipal shared services agreement with the County of Chautauqua on behalf of Chautauqua County EMS located at 3 North Erie Street, Mayville, New York, 14757, subject to the approval of Corporation Council as to form.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Dole.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute change order number 1 to the concrete work 2020 Newton Avenue to Cary Place to Thayer Street. Contract with Husky Enterprises, 12 Brook Street, Lakewood, New York, 14750, in an amount not to exceed $15,039.50, subject to the approval of Corporation Council as to form.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Dole.
Aye. Resolution 11.
Kim, you're muted. Kim, you're muted.
No, I think we lost her.
No, I
Free
see her.
time
No,
failure.
Okay.
She's muted. She muted
A
herself.
resolution authorizing the mayor to request home rule legislation from New York State Senator George Borrello and New York State Assemblyman Andrew Goodell relating to speed violation monitoring systems in school speed zones by means of photo devices.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
I just want to add that this is just requesting the home rule legislation. There are no details on this yet or decisions as to hours, any of those details that we still had open. But this is just to request the home rule legislation that it can be done at this point in time.
Correct. Any other questions or comments? So just to piggyback on that, this is the first step along the process if we were to move in that direction. So, more to follow. Will clerk please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Dole.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Census Gatso USA Incorporated, 900 Cummings Center, Suite 222-T, Beverly, Massachusetts, 01915, to provide the installation and management of a school zone speed camera demonstration camera at a rate of $18.00 per paid notice of violation collected, subject to the approval of Corporation Council as to form.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Dole.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the adoption of the 2021 general operating budget.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Yep, Mr. President, I'd like to introduce one resolution at this time,
Amendment.
or one amendment, I'm sorry. Okay, the first amendment will be updating the dental insurance estimate in the appropriations for an amount of a $35,000 savings.
Questions or comments? Will the clerk please pull the councilman on, or the council on the amendment?
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye. Are there any other questions or comments?
Marie,
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I have an amendment as no changes to retiree health insurance. And that is account number A9060.0800, $1 million.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council on the amendment.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Nay.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye. Are there any other questions or comments?
Yes, Mr. Dolce, President Dolce, I do have the presentation of another amendment. At this point in time, I'd like to introduce an appropriation to not amortize the 2021 ERS retirement, which is the employee retirement. And that is account A.9010.0800 for the amount of adding in $100,000.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council on the amendment.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye. Are there any other questions or comments?
Yes, President Dolce, I have another amendment from the floor. At this point in time, I'd like to propose amending to not fill the communications grant writer position. The total amount to restore to the budget is $58,447.93. And that includes everything from the salaried and benefits line.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council on the amendment.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye. Are there any other questions or comments?
Yes, Mr. President, I have another amendment concerning equipment purchase, removing the mayor's projector and TV for the conference room. And that's account number A.1210.0200 in the amount of $2,100.
Wait, are we taking both away? His TV and his projector or just his projector?
That is the TV and the projector. It was one item under equipment.
We're still giving $1,000 for the TV though, or no?
No, we are
As it
removing.
was presented.
Any other questions or comments on the amendment? Will the clerk please poll the council on the amendment?
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye. Any other questions or comments on the budget?
Yes, I have another amendment under the Department of Development General Cut for Contractual Services line A12, wait a minute, excuse me. A.8791.0400 in the amount of $12,400.
Questions or comments on the amendment?
What is this now?
It is a general cut to the Department of Development budget under contractual services.
All right, thank you.
Questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council on the amendment.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Any other
Yes,
questions, comments?
yes, Mr. President. I do propose further. This amendment will be to keep the maintenance mechanic at part-time. In other words, the mayor's budget was a full-time position. We are proposing to keep it at the same level as 2020. And that is for a savings of $37,015.80. And again, that's across the salaries and benefits lines.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Clerk, please pull the council on the amendment.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye. Any other questions or comments on the budget?
Yes, Mr. President, I have an amendment to remove the mayor's lease and to remove it from the account from the mayor's office salaries in the amount of, in account number 1210.0100 and for a savings of $2,600.
I have a quick question. I know the mayor said in this situation, we would default on the lease since it's already been signed. What are the what does that end up costing us? Usually it's not a cheap thing to get out of the lease.
Well, I believe there was supposed to have been an RFP for the lease, which was not approved in terms of the council. It did not come before the council.
But
So
if it's already been signed and we're paying on it and we have to back out of this lease, it's going to cost us probably more than it would be to continue to pay on the lease.
it's funded by the taxpayers through the budget. We did not approve it. We are asking at this time to remove it.
But do we know the repercussions of that?
I guess you can ask the controller.
Mr. Mayor, are you familiar with what the break lease fee is? Because I am not.
I mean, I'm pretty familiar with leases in general, and generally they're not going to let you get out of the terms of the lease. You're going to still end up paying the $2,600 no matter what. And then they're probably going to collect more fees and such on top of that. So just something to keep in mind.
Any other questions or comments on the amendment? Clerk, please pull the council on the amendment.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Nay.
Nelson,
Nay.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Nay.
Russell,
Nay.
and President Doles.
Aye. I believe it did not pass.
Correct.
Okay, so that one will be not removed from the mayor's budget. So to make note of the adjustment, so Ryan, make note of that. So the 2,600 goes back into the budget. Are there any other questions or comments about the budget?
Yes, Mr. President, I have an amendment to cut the former assessor, the part-time work. That's from the assessor's office salaries. That's account number 1356.0100 to restore $2,500. And as noted that that position was not used under part-time during the last year.
Questions or comments on the amendment? Clerk, please pull the council on the amendment.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and Doles.
Aye. Are there any other questions or comments on the budget?
I do have an amendment that I'd like to present. This is to eliminate take-home gas and fuel on a certain department. And I also want to note here, and I will note it again at the end of these amendments, when I make a comment about the budget as a whole. This is part of an initiative to eliminate take-home vehicles outside the city, citywide, not for one specific person or one specific department. So that is what this is about, and it is to remove $500 from account A 5010.0420.
Comments about the amendment? Clerk, please poll the council on the amendment.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye. Thank you. Any other questions or comments on the budget?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to introduce another amendment. Like to introduce an amendment to keep the contingency fund the same as the 2020 level and reduce the mayor's executive budget proposal by 200,000. That is account A 1990.00.
Questions or comments on that? If not, the clerk, please poll the council on the amendment.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Aye.
Eklund, Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye. Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments about the budget?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to introduce another resolution or amendment. And this is to eliminate the position of recreation coordinator for a total savings of $53,973.26.
Questions or comments on the amendment? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Nay.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
President Doles.
Aye. Thank you. Any other questions or comments about the budget?
Yes, Mr. President, I have an amendment under estimated revenues to increase the 2021 projected sales tax account A.0000.1110 in the amount of $200,000.
Questions or comments on the amendment? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye. Thank you. Any other questions or comments about the budget?
Mr. President, I have another amendment, as there will be no increase to parking meter fees for on-street parking. And that is account number A.0000.1740 to reduce the mayor's budget by $29,045.09.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on the resolution or the amendment, I should say? If not, the clerk, please poll the council on the amendment.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye. Thank you. Any other questions or comments about the budget?
Yes, I would like to propose another addition to the budget amendment. No increase to the parking violations. In other words, we are removing the fine that were proposed, increase in fines for an amount of $24,329.13 from account A.0000.1590.
Questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council on the amendment.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Nay.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Nay.
and Doles.
Aye. Thank you. Any other questions or comments on the budget?
Yes, Mr. President, I have another, we're getting near the bottom, another amendment to the budget, and that's to set the tax rate flat for 2021, to bring it to a 0 tax increase. And that is from the real property tax line, account A.0000.1001, in the amount of $115,298.70.
Questions or comments about the amendment? If not, clerk, please poll the council on the amendment.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye. Thank you. Any other questions or comments on the budget?
I do have, from my perspective, one final amendment. I'm not sure if anyone has anything else, but at this point in time, the appropriation from the fund balance based on all these amendments that were approved or not approved is the amount of $436,000, $138.53.
Does that include the 2,600 for the mayor's
Yes, it
car too?
does.
No?
It's all up to date.
Everything. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments about the amendment? If not, the clerk, please poll the council on the amendment.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Doles.
Aye. Thank you. Are there any other questions, comments, or resolutions to come forward on this budget?
I would like to make some comments if there are no further amendment resolutions.
Fine, the floor is yours.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank the mayor, the administration, and the council as a whole for the work the last few months on this budget, and for the mayor and his staff prior to that. I do know that there were a lot of unknowns in this budget, and still in fact are. And as I've discussed, that's one of my greatest concerns, even going forward with these amendments that were passed. I know there were some tough decisions in this budget for all of us. And I know that not everyone is going to like what happened or be happy, or some people may even be, the opposite. So these were tough decisions we all had to take into consideration, and what is best, not only for, our city residents, our tax base, but also for the employees as a whole and the residents. I do have noted all along in my million questions some very strong concerns that I still do have. The health insurance, even with this million added back in, is always a big gamble and a big risk. The sales tax addition is a hefty shot in the dark. While I support it, it is concerning to me. I also, as mentioned earlier by other council members, we have open litigation with costs that are unknown that are concerning to me. Nothing that the mayor could have, predicted or added at that point. There's additional state aid and some other things, bonds and cost of translations, which I think are great things that we need to do as a city, and technology based that we did not include in this budget, that we're short on, and neither did the mayor. So it's very concerning to me. There's some policy things that I brought up that I talked about, in particular, the take-home car policy. I'm imploring that the Corporation Council and the mayor and the staff work together to update that by the end of the year. It is imperative. It sends a message to our constituents that the amount is not huge, but the principle is important and it needs to be addressed. It's a concern that has been brought forward for years, and we've discussed it, and it's time to address it. In light of that, I would also, because of this, no one could have predicted COVID. No one could have predicted the situation that we're in as a country, as a nation, and as a state. So I would like to propose to both Ryan and the mayor. I know we receive a monthly list of checks that are written, but I would like to get together and try to find an ongoing budget review. I know I've expressed my concern to both the mayor and Ryan that, there's so many uncertainties in this world today that I think we need to stay on top of expenditures and have some cost control and containment measures and make sure that that's happening so things don't spiral out of control. That being said, I appreciate everybody's support, hard work, and due diligence. This was probably one of the hardest budgets I've had to do in my tenure for a lot of reasons. So I appreciate the patience and appreciate the support. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other
Hi.
questions or comments?
Question / comment. I don't know if this is even possible since we're coming to the end of the year. The budget process starts in October and it kind of feels like a mad race to the finish line. And I don't know going forward, the city's going to be in dire straits for a while, as well as businesses and employment and things. And I don't know if we as a council or as a community or however we want to look at it need to start having conversations a little earlier, or if it's even possible to start having conversations a little earlier about ways to really start bringing in some revenue into the city. We still don't know what COVID's going to do and what it's going to look like in the next 6 months, but I personally feel like we need to start looking down the road as the financial situations become more dire and what our options are and what types of things we can begin to think about to try to mitigate the situation that we're going to probably find ourselves in again. This is kind of an anxious time, and I would like to see if there's any way we can start to try to explore some ways to turn the corner. I don't know if that's possible, and that we can start to talk about that maybe a little sooner rather than later. I don't know if that's possible or not, but those are some things I'm just kind of putting out there.
Agreed, Tamu, and that's why I suggested a budget review type expense thing a little bit more in detail for the finance committee for 2021. And then an update for the entire council.
Okay.
Would be my recommendation. And I'll talk to Ryan and the mayor about that. It's just good to have a better handle on things, I think, as a month by month instead of.
I just like to thank Ryan and our mayor for putting this budget together and having such a difficult time. As Kim has said, nobody could predict it. COVID, nobody could predict the things that we are going through. 2020 has been tough, and it's time for it to go. And but I just wanted to thank you, the two of you, for your hard work for putting this together. And I also like to thank Councilwoman Eklund for her leadership in this process. I really got a greater appreciation for Kim and her bean counting. And I just thank her. And this was a very hard one for me, especially for amendment number 12. This was amendment number 12 was really hard.
He just choked again. Okay.
Uh-oh. It was really hard, because in 2014, I was telling my colleague, same thing happened to the youth director, which was me, so I don't know. It was a very hard decision, and I could see, when this is just a very difficult, as Tim had said, a very difficult budget, and you hate to see any casualties come out of a budget. And I just wish the best, because I think Julius does a wonderful job as the park director, and I just wanted to know that it was very disheartening. It was very hard for me to make this decision, and I just want to thank my colleagues for for this budget, bringing it forth and helping us along in this hard times.
I second that. Thank you, Kim, as a newbie. You know, it really helped to have somebody spearheading this whole budget process as well. So you know, I learned a lot. Thank you.
Mr. President, I would like to add as well that other than the mayor and his staff, I don't believe anyone worked harder on this budget to bring it into line than Councilwoman Eklund. I know she spent a lot of nights and weekends. Those of us on the Finance Committee got numerous emails and text messages concerning this budget. I know it was very difficult, and it's never easy when we're dealing with personnel issues. But I want to thank her again for all she did under some difficult circumstances, along with, you know, she has a full-time job as well. And this is only a part-time position, and it's not even part-time, but probably Councilwoman Eklund puts in more than a part-time job here when she's working on the budget. So I would like to add and thank her for all she did. This was, since I've been on the council, the most difficult budget that I have seen. We realize that things probably won't get easier in the next year. We can only hope that businesses will be able to survive and come back even stronger, and that we'll be looking ahead with the prospect of a vaccine that maybe COVID will allow us to function more normally. And with that hope, to Councilwoman James's comments, the difficult decision is that we don't foresee in the immediate future that a lot of the activities that we all like to engage in will be possible until COVID is under control. And that was one of the reasons why we made the decision that we did. We've had to cancel many activities, most of us, and I know the community at large is very disappointed, but understands the need to not gather in large groups. And I'm very appreciative of the mayor in terms of the drive-through Christmas tree and viewing. I have friends who are already looking forward to and planning on attending. So I appreciate all the efforts to try to bring some normalcy back to this time of year.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments before the vote? Okay, just to make sure, I believe there were 17 amendments, although one of them did not pass, so the total would be 16. It was all put out in the spreadsheet that you all have, so just make sure you understand the various increases and decreases and changes that we just voted on to amend. If there are no other questions, would the clerk please poll the council on the 2021 budget as amended?
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Dole.
That concludes the resolutions from the Finance Committee. We'll now move on to Public Safety, and Councilman Russell will read Resolution 14.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the Jamestown City Council to make changes to the city plumbing code as requested by the Jamestown Board of Public Utilities.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Just confirming, I think this is the change to allow the plumber to reside outside the city but within the county. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Dole.
Aye. Thank you. Our next resolution will be read by Councilman Sheldon, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution adopting the retention and disposition schedule for New York Local Government Records LGS-1.
Questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Dole.
Aye. Thank you. Our resolution 16 will be sponsored by Councilwoman Graham Reinhardt.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution requesting that the Jamestown Board of Utilities install one 150-watt LED equivalent fixture on pole number 32735 on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Thank you. Any questions? Comments?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to thank the council for their inserting this into the resolutions. Again, it's in my ward, and I appreciate your responsiveness to getting this done.
Questions or comments? If not, the clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Dole.
There are no, that concludes the resolutions from public safety. There are no resolutions from public works or housing. So that would end our resolutions under regular business. Are there any reports of special committees? Reports of city officers? Reports from council members on administrative boards?
I just wanted to say something as a member of the Board of Public Utilities. I know that Dave Leathers had intended on coming and speaking to us on some of the changes as well as the changes to the garbage bins. So I'll connect with those guys and we'll find a way to get them in here so that they can talk about some of the changes that are coming on that front.
Right, and I believe he's planning on coming in the next, possibly.
Okay, all right, thank you.
work session. So thank you for the update. Is there any unfinished business? If not, we do have 4 resolutions under new business. Our first resolution under new business will be read by Councilwoman Eklund.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the city controller to make the following amendment to the 2020 general fund budget for the purpose of replacing the City Hall gas line as follows. Increase appropriations, City Hall building maintenance, account A.1620.0457, 17,000. Decrease contingency appropriation, account A.1990.0400, 17,000.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on the resolution? If not, the clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Dole.
Aye, thank you. Our next resolution under new business will be sponsored by Councilwoman Karuba.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement for a cloud-based government management platform with Property Pilot LLC, doing business as GovPilot, located at 79 Hudson Street, number 503, Hoboken, New Jersey, 07030, to provide for the transfer of data, installation, training, and implementation of the platform at a rate of $48,978.00 per year for 5 years starting December 1st, 2020, subject to the approval of Corporation Council as to form.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Hey, Crystal, this is just to replace MyGov, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Do we save anything? Are we paying MyGov right now?
We're paying MyGov, it's roughly $30,000 a year. We do get reimbursed for part of that through the zombie grant, and the zombie grant would continue to reimburse us for this new software.
Do we have to keep MyGov alive for like a year as we transition, or can we get rid of that expense right now?
I believe we can get rid of it at any point, but we'll want to keep it. It's going to take some time to transition and to be able to transfer all of those, all the data and everything that's stored in MyGov. So it's not going to be a quick transfer.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? If not, the clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Oops, I'm sorry. Aye.
thank you. Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Dole.
Aye, thank you. The 19th Amendment under new business will be sponsored by Councilman Sheldon.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a local law amending the city charter and general legislation to establish a chief of police and fire chief. This is basically removing the title Director of Public Safety from the police chief and elevating the deputy fire chief to fire chief.
I'd just like to point out this shouldn't cost the city any more money.
This is automatically tabled for 1 month.
Correct.
We have to vote on this evening. So it just has to be introduced this evening and it's automatically tabled. So we'll move on to resolution 20 and Councilwoman Graham Reinhardt.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have an ordinance amending section 21-3 of the Jamestown City Code relative to the standard of conduct.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Not, the clerk, please poll the count.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Karuba,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Eklund,
Aye.
Graham Reinhardt,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Dole.
Aye, thank you. That concludes our resolutions under new business and any of our business under new business. Is there any other comments or anything else under new business that anybody has before we adjourn? Wanted to briefly, I know a lot has been said on the budget process. Briefly, I just wanted to comment on it. This, again, they're all difficult. As someone who's been around for a while, they don't get any easier this year, of course, with COVID, really threw, more problems on the fire, so to speak, more gasoline on the fire. And I just want to commend the mayor for, having to go through this his first year in office. It's a daunting task for any elected official, but certainly for someone in their first year. I want to thank the new department heads as well. We have several new department heads that are kind of feeling their way through the process as well. Also, again, to this council, we rolled up our sleeves. We went through the process. As you saw tonight, it took some time. We went through some amendments, lots of amendments and changes to the budget. And again, it's been said many times, this is not a perfect budget by any stretch of the imagination. We have worked diligently and conservatively over the last several years to build up a fund balance to nearly $4 million. And to have to spend almost $500,000 of it is not something that we take lightly or want to do. It was just, at this point, there really was very few avenues to turn to it. And so the work that was done, again, with our finance committee, chaired by Councilwoman Eklund and her fine job, as well as Councilwoman Karuba and myself and all the other council people who have put time into this. We take this very seriously. It's very difficult. It can be stressful. I can tell you that every year at budget time, it's very stressful and it's very difficult. And a lot of difficult decisions have to be made with people's lives and with people's livelihoods. And we do not take this lightly. And it really pulls at our, emotions to have to do and make certain decisions that may not be popular among certain circles and with individuals, but balancing what we have to do, our fiduciary responsibility to our taxpayers, to our constituents, and to try to foresee down the road what's best for the city as we move forward into 2021. As for the process, I know that it always comes up about our process, and it's been changed a few times in the time I've been on council. I do have some ideas. I know that I talked to some people about maybe not necessarily moving up the time, but maybe the order of how we do things. We do get in kind of a very constrained crunch time period to get this done with. The problem is that it's very difficult to put together any type of specific numbers too soon because we just don't know. And then on top of that, for the public's sake, the state budget does not get passed until late March and early April. And so we're kind of caught in between that cycle. And so there's a lot of variables and moving parts to any budget process. But that being said, there's no reason why it can't be improved, changed, done a different way, maybe a better way. And we can look at that and certainly move forward. But again, I just wanted to thank everybody for the work they put in. And again, difficult budgets, but hopefully it was decisions that were made in the best interest of our taxpayers. So thank you. And with that, I declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Aye.
Right.
All right.